Hello, friends. Welcome back to English Classes Online. My name is Benjamin. Today's video is on a composition on bullying in schools. This topic is taken from the Junior School Certificate Examination, otherwise known as the Basic Education Certificate Examination, English Past Questions, specifically the year 2019. This is part of our preparatory lesson aimed at helping students to get adequately prepared for their junior WAEC exam. So if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. You will also find a bell icon, which if you click on it, you will activate the notification system so that whenever a new video goes live on this channel, you will be notified instantly. So you won't miss any new video I upload on the channel. Without much ado, let's dive into the lesson and learn how to write a composition on this topic, bullying in schools. Now, this is Lagos State Basic Education Certificate Examination 2019 English Studies Theory Section A, which is the essay part. And we are taking question 1B, which states as follows: write a composition on the topic bullying in schools. Now, let's get into, first of all, looking at parts of the essay. You know, a composition is a piece of writing that discusses one major topic in several paragraphs. And we want to know how to do this. First, let's look at the parts of the essay or the parts of the composition. Now, the first part is the introduction. Now, the introduction is where you introduce the topic for discussion. And then how do you do that? You come with what we call a hook. The hook is the first sentence which draws the reader's attention. It must be something that is relevant to the topic, you know, something that tells the reader that it is a serious issue being discussed here, all right? So the hook is meant to draw the attention of the reader and show the reader that it is really an important topic that he or she should pay attention to. Then the thesis is exactly your main idea about the topic, what you want to say about the topic. You know, bullying in school is a broad topic, you know. You can talk about the effects, you can talk about the causes or factors responsible for bullying. You can talk about the solution. You can approach it from different angles. So you must narrow it to your own perspective. There must be an angle from which you want to talk about bullying in schools. And that angle from which you want to discuss the topic is your thesis. Your thesis is your central argument, your viewpoint, your opinion, all right? That is your thesis statement. Then you have the enumeration, which is optional. In this case, you mention the major things you are going to discuss in the body section of your composition. Then the second part of the composition or essay is the body section, you know, and this is where you discuss the key points, all right? This is where you discuss the key points. And in most cases, you discuss the causes, the effects, the possible solutions, all right? Then in the third part, which is the conclusion, is where you summarize the key points. All right, you summarize the key points and then you re-emphasize the thesis and you make a clear call to action. You call on the relevant authorities to do something about the social problem. All right, so these are the various parts of the essay at a glance. Then one other thing I want to show you before we go into solving this particular question is what I call the 4 steps in writing an essay or a composition. Now, the first one is choosing the topic. In this case, we are already given a topic, so we don't need to choose. We have chosen, although if you look at the junior WAEC past question, especially if you look at that 2019, you will see that there are two essay questions. You are given 2 essay questions. You are given 2 essay questions. Let me read the 2 essay questions. You will find that on page what? Well, yes, on page 3 of the 2019 past question compilation guide. So when you look at the theory section A, which is essay, the instruction is answer only 1 question from this section. Your answer should not be less than 200 words. It could be more, all right? Then 1A is you performed poorly in your last school examination. Write a letter to your father, giving 2 reasons you failed and promising that you will perform better in your next examination. This is letter writing. And I remember that in a recent video, I treated a letter writing question. So today we want to pick a question on composition. Which is purely discussing a topic rather than letter writing. So that is B, 1B. Write a composition on the topic bullying in schools, all right? Bullying in schools. So we have chosen that topic. So choosing the topic is still a valid point because you need to choose at least from the 2 alternative essay questions there. So once you have, but how do you choose the topic? You must know what you are talking about. Otherwise, your essay will be big words without substance. You must choose a topic you know something about. If you are already given an essay topic in an exam like this one, make sure you understand exactly what the examiner wants you to write on the topic, which is why we are actually treating this topic. So you come to know exactly how to discuss a topic like this whenever you come across it in your English exams. Now, the second step in writing a meaningful essay or composition is brainstorming and creating an outline. To brainstorm is to think about the topic in order to generate ideas for your essay. You must plan an essay before you write it. If you fail to plan it, then you have planned to fail it, all right? Now, what do? Jot down the ideas on a sheet of paper just as they naturally flow into your mind. Go over the points and pick only the ones you consider most relevant to the topic. Then organize your main ideas and their supporting points into an outline, dividing them into the 3 main parts of your essay: introduction, body, and conclusion. That's what you need to do at the planning stage. And it's important you always take a little time and then you plan the essay so that when you start writing, you won't go blank at a point and you forget the point you are going to write next. At a point, you may feel like canceling what you have written and starting afresh. And at that point, you become helpless. So planning is paramount. Now, the third step is writing the essay. In this case, you need to ensure that you observe the 3 parts. In fact, there are 4 parts when you include the title. The title should be written in capital letters. I will show you how to write it when we solve the actual question. I'm just showing you the prototype here, a template that I have made. All right. Then the introduction, which includes the hook, the thesis, and the enumeration. Then the body of the essay, comprising of at least 3 paragraphs. Then you have the conclusion. The fourth step is to proofread the essay. And this means you have to cross-check your essay and correct any errors in it so you won't lose marks. Now, in most English exams, you lose half a mark for every error you commit, whether it's a grammatical error, a spelling error, error on capitalization, punctuation, or omission. So you cross-check, you revise, all right? You proofread, if you like, to ensure that you correct the mistakes, or the mistakes, yes, so that your essay will be error-free. Now, having said this, let's now head right away to the writing the question, solving the question. Let's look at it again. All right. Write a composition on the topic bullying in schools. So let's look at how we do it. Now, the first thing you do here is to start with, you start with the title. Of course, you don't need to underline the title. There are 2 ways of doing it. If you write it with a combination of capital and small letters, then you can underline. Now, let me show you what I mean by that. Well, let me try and put it here. I just want to show something to you. Excuse me. Bullying in schools. Now, once you have used this method, what do? You underline. You underline it. That's one way of writing your title. But you have some rules to observe here. You can see that we started bullying with capital letter B. Yes, for 2 reasons. Number one, when it is the first word in a title and you are using this method, you must write the first letter in that first word in capital. So capital letter B in bullying. You can see that in is written in small letters because it's a lesser word. Now, English words can be divided into 2: content words and function words. Now, content words are words that carry meaning, such as nouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives. These are words that convey meanings. When we talk of bullying, you know that bullying has meaning on its own. In is a word that doesn't carry meaning. We just use it to join bullying and schools together. In is a preposition, and words like prepositions, conjunctions, articles, they are minor or lesser words. In fact, in extreme cases, they are called empty words, function words, or grammatical words. We only use them to join those content words that carry meanings together. So the rule is that in a title, you don't capitalize the lesser words. You capitalize the content words. And so that is why school begins with capital letter S. Bullying begins with capital letter B. Also because it is the first word in the sentence, in the title. All right. So, but I encourage using the writing the title in capital letters, and look at it. It is capitalized. It is centralized here. Always ensure that your title is on the top center of your answer sheets. All right, that is very, very important. Now, then you can see again here, there is something we must amend here, because this needs to start. Yes, it needs to start with okay, so this has been adjusted. So you can see this is the first paragraph, and so you must leave a space. This is what we call indentation. All the paragraphs must be on the same on the same level. They will start from the same point. All right, on your answer sheet. Now, before you write, you ought to brainstorm. Think about bullying in schools. What are you going to say? All right. What do you want to discuss? Do you want to talk about the causes and then you profile solutions, or do you want to concentrate on the effects? You know, that you choose what you are going to discuss. And then you create an outline as discussed in our previous lesson. You know that drawing an outline means listing or jotting down the main ideas you want to discuss. All right. Okay, so now having said that, let me now show you how to write this type of composition. Now, this is where our introduction is, the first paragraph. Bullying is one of the major problems in many schools. You see, we are using the direct method here. Our hook is simple. We are just stating it simply and directly the way it is. We want to call it a major problem. And if something is a major problem in schools and you are interested in schools, then it will be of interest to you. So that can be a simple hook. Bullying is one of the major problems in many schools. Bullies tend to take pleasure in hurting other people and putting them under stress. The problem is so severe in some schools that students get injured or even killed. You see, we are painting a picture of this problem. And what are we doing? We are grabbing the attention of the reader. We want to show the reader that this topic is a very important one and that they should read it. It's a problem that affects almost everyone in the society. Because if you are not attending schools, you might have your children or your siblings or your parents or your uncles' children or anybody, but somehow someone whom you love attends schools. Now, some of the victims of bullying stop attending school owing to fear, while some are driven to the point of committing suicide as a result of depression. Look at that. Is that not a serious problem? So you begin the essay by talking about what it is about. Tell the reader why this topic is important and why you are writing about it, all right? And why they should read it in the first place. Then this is where you are now stating your thesis. I believe, you know, a thesis is always your opinion. I believe it is important to examine the factors responsible for bullying in schools in order to find ways of curbing, if not completely, stopping this social evil. You see? So you have actually given your thesis statement here, and your enumeration is also implied because you have specifically mentioned the things that you are going to talk about in the body of your composition. So that takes care of the first paragraph, which is your introduction. Now we are going to talk about these things that we have mentioned we want to talk about the factors responsible for bullying in schools. And you can start it with a connective, or you can start it simply in this way. One of the major causes of bullying in schools is the inability of some parents to control their children. You see, this is your topic sentence. All right? CS, if you like. This is the topic sentence. Sorry about this. All right? This is your topic sentence. All right? This is your topic sentence. So you have mentioned the first factor responsible. And once you have stated your topic sentence, all other things you are going to say in this paragraph will be to support this idea you have already expressed. You are saying that the inability of some parents to control their children is the reason why there is bullying in schools. All right? Then let's now talk about this idea here. Some parents lack the moral strength to correct their children or ensure that they are well behaved. Some parents are bullies themselves. You see, you are taking a swipe at parents this time. Not all parents anyway, but some parents who fail to, correct their children and ensure they are well behaved. You are saying that this is why some children are bullies at school, and that problem persists. Now we continue. In a home where the children frequently find their father hitting their mother or vice versa, what do you expect the children to learn? You see, you are raising a rhetorical question just to support the point you have raised. What you want to discuss in this composition is the factor. You want to outline and discuss the factors responsible for bullying in schools. And who doesn't want to actually examine the cause of something? Now, the importance of examining the causes of a social problem is that when you know the causes, then you'll be able to find the solutions. It's just like when someone is sick and you go to the doctor. What does the doctor do first? He will diagnose. That means he will examine you to find out exactly what are the symptoms or what are the causes, what are the factors responsible for your illness. Without doing that, the doctor cannot just start prescribing any treatment or any drug, because whatever treatment is going to prescribe will likely be wrong. He must find out the cause before he provides the solution. So it's logically, it makes sense to always discuss the causes of a social problem. Okay, so let's continue. Of course, they copy these negative habits, and the school is the place where they can easily practice what they learned at home. So you have actually developed the point you raised here to a logical conclusion. And that is really very, very important in writing a composition. Okay, so let's now go to our next paragraph. And here we are going to discuss the second factor we believe is responsible for bullying in schools. And what do we say here? Another factor responsible for the rising incidence of bullying in schools is peer pressure, which in turn gives birth to bad company. You see? So you are now looking at the causes, and you are examining them with a view to finding out the solution. Now, this is our topic sentence. Don't forget, in a simple composition like this, it is good to start a paragraph with your topic sentence. Then you support your topic sentence with other sentences, which we call the supporting details, SD if you like. All right? The TS comes first, then followed by the DS. I mean, I mean by the SD, supporting details, TS, topic sentence, SD, supporting details. Well, take note of this. Now, another factor responsible for the rising incidence of bullying in schools is peer pressure, which in turn gives birth to bad company. Some well-behaved students suddenly turn into bullies the moment they become friends with another student who is already a bully. They ignorantly copy the negative habits of their new friend, and they are eventually initiated into the bullying practice. In some cases, the hardened bully leads his converted friends to attack his victims during break, in the classroom, in the field, on the school bus, and so forth. You see, sometimes you find a group of students going to attack another student. It could be that the one who is a bully and who became friends with some other people who now joined him in that habit, you know, he influences them and they all agree due to peer pressure, and they can gang up and beat up another student. It often happens in schools. All right, so here you are painting a clear picture of how these things happen. All right, and you are saying that the factor responsible is this, so that when we are looking for the solution, then we will actually know what we are talking about. Then the next paragraph, which is our third factor or cause of bullying in school. Furthermore, the desire to control others is a major factor responsible for this antisocial behavior. You see, the desire to control others. Again, you can see that this is our TS, the desire to control others. That's the point we are raising here. That's the factor we are saying is responsible for bullying in schools, the desire to control others. Now, what do we want to talk about this, and how does this, you know, become a major factor responsible for this serious social evil? Now, let's discuss it. Obviously, the bullies are only putting in practice a prevailing attitude that is fast becoming the norm in our society. You are saying that this is an attitude that is prevailing in the society. People desire to control others. It's just happening in society, and the majority of people in our society have just, you know, adopted that attitude, and it's something we find them doing. So it is a societal evil, it's a societal ill that needs to be tackled head on. Now, just take a look at the police brutality against the defenseless citizen. You are making a point here. You know, it's a burning issue in our society. Police brutality is everywhere, in Nigeria, in America, in various parts of the world. And if you find the police brutalizing or acting brutally against the citizens, then of course, you know, when the students watch these things, they want to show authority, they want to demonstrate power and authority, they want to control others, just like these security agents. Take a look at the passion with which a soldier would pounce on a bloody civilian. You know, in our own society, soldiers call civilians bloody civilians, you know, so you put this in quotes just to emphasize that idea. You know, take a look at the passion with which a soldier would pounce on a bloody civilian, kick him or her into the gutter, hit their heads with a stick, a leather belt, or any available weapon. You see? Take a look at the verbal attacks our politicians hurl at their opponents, coupled with their tendency to unleash thugs at their opponents. You see, these are valid points. There are things happening in our society, leading to assassination in most cases. Of course, we are aware of many notable politicians who were assassinated by their political opponents. They sent hired assassins, and these people went and then they assassinated their targets. All right. Now, all these have helped to breed our younger bullies in schools who are simply following the footsteps of those whom they see as their role models in the society. So we are saying that this desire to control others, to show power and authority, you know, to tend to, you know, become brutal is something that is happening in the society. It's a prevailing situation, an unpleasant situation, which is in the society and needs to be addressed. So now, having discussed these factors responsible for bullying in schools, we want to devote a paragraph to talking about the solutions. And this is something that can be done, all right? Now here, we say, to solve the problem of bullying in schools, charity must begin at home in reality. You see, you are now, you are referring to a very popular saying that charity begins at home, all right? And that is also one very good way of, you know, expressing your idea in a composition. Parents must pay attention to the moral upbringing of their children. They must start by being well-behaved themselves and then ensure that their children imbibe the right moral values. You see, you have taken the first factor responsible and you have provided solution to it. You started this composition by saying that the some parents' inability to control their children is the reason why we have bullying in schools. So you are now saying that parents should address this issue. Okay. Then the next thing, school authorities should organize anti-bullying programs to discourage bullying. Remember, you know, peer pressure, keeping bad company among the students, you know, lead even some otherwise good students being initiated into the bullying practice. So if schools, you know, organize anti-bullying programs to sensitize and reorientate the students, that is a good way to solve the problem. They should also make sure that there is no compromise on discipline. All right, that's another way to solve the problem. Students found guilty of bullying should be severely punished to serve as a deterrent to others. All right. Then you are now going to address the other problem that emanates from the larger society. The government is in a right position to do something about this. Then you say government agencies like the Ministry of Information and the National Orientation Agency should constantly launch campaigns against bullying through public awareness and orientation programs, seminars, lectures, speeches, and speeches, if you like, on both the electronic and print media. So you have actually, you know, profiled solutions. You have examined the factors responsible for this social evil, and then you have actually come up with some recommendations. And this is very important in writing a composition of this nature. Then the last paragraph takes care of our conclusion. And the best way is to say, in conclusion, one thing you must avoid, which is a mistake made by some students, is to write conclusively. No, conclusively is wrong in writing an essay. Conclusive has a different shade of meaning. But when you want to end an essay, especially in your concluding paragraph, you can say in conclusion, or you can say to sum up, all right? So we choose to say in conclusion, bullying in schools is a serious social evil, that should not be condoned in view of its numerous severe negative effects on both the individual students and on the entire school where it occurs. You are restating, re-emphasizing your thesis. You started by showing that this is a serious problem, and you are restating the fact that this is a very serious issue that needs that action be taken to put a stop to it. All right? Then you now come up with your final statement. If we want to restore sanity to our schools, which every right-thinking person will actually want to happen, and raise the falling standard of education, you are actually referring to the fact that because of bullying in schools and other related problems, the standard of education has fallen because of the effects of these social problems. So you are talking about solving the problem. If we want to restore sanity to our schools and raise the falling standard of education, all hands must be on deck to ensure that this evil is eradicated from our schools. Full stop. All right. So this is a very, very simple way of writing a composition of this nature. And this is where we bring today's video to an end, where we actually bring today's lesson to an end. We have been discussing how to write a composition on the topic bullying in schools. And this is part of our Jsce/Bece English preparatory lessons. So I hope you learned the various techniques that will help you to write a good composition whenever you are required to write one in any of your English exams. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like the video and share it with your friends and relations. If you have not subscribed to this channel, this is the appropriate time for you to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon as well, so that whenever I upload a new video on this channel, you'll be notified instantly. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for being part of today's video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye for now and remain blessed. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you